Berlin High School fall sports started practicing this week. And while concern over heat-related illness is a top issue, area orthopedics practices are bracing for an annual influx in patient numbers. Here now to help your student-athlete avoid injury, Dr. Brian Polsky, orthopedic surgeon and sports medicine specialist with the Centers for Advanced Orthopaedics. Thanks so much for coming in, doctor.
Good morning.
Good morning. Okay, we're talking about it right now. We've got footballs already training. There's a lot of kids already going to school doing it. We've got track. We've got all sorts of different golf, soccer, volleyball. There's all sorts of different sports out there. What are you telling parents now, as their kids are going off probably right now, getting ready to go out to the camps again, that they need to start being concerned on their training for?
Right. And I have three of them. I have three boys. So I'm telling them right now, number one is hydration. Okay. Number two, stretching and strengthening. And they should have hopefully even started that beforehand. Okay. Okay. And number three is, when in doubt, get it checked out. Okay. You know, if there's an injury, if their son or daughter are limping, and some of these kids these days will keep going.
Well, I mean, come on. When you played sports, walk it off. That's what. Come on, you're all right. Walk it off. Let's see how bad it is. If you can walk on it, you can play on it.
Right, right. But no, you know, these days, when in doubt, get it checked out. If they're limping, and especially if they're coming out of a game for an injury and they can't go back in, obviously that needs to be checked out.
We just listed off some sports there. Are there different, I'm assuming that there's different injuries versus different sports?
Yes, so different mechanisms. I mean, football, obviously high impact. Head injuries are very commonly talked about, but also a lot of knee and ankle injuries, twisting injuries, breaks. You know, broken bones. One of my kids played football early on, and a kid had a femur fracture in the middle of practice.
That's one of the hardest
rare,
ones,
but
right?
Rare, but it happens. Volleyball is more shoulder, head and neck, hand and wrist. Okay, and then you know some of the other injuries are sprains and strains, not necessarily as high impact.
So we start strengthening those areas per sport, or should it just be all over body strengthening?
Good question. So cross training is really important. So stamina training, stretching in general, they should be doing well into the summer before these sports in order to avoid some of the more minor injuries. Some of them are unavoidable and risks associated with the sport.
Let's break it down with male and female. Different injuries, do you see that between the sexes?
Absolutely, yes. So females more knee, hip, see some shoulder. With the males, it's more hamstring, quad injuries, strains and sprains. ACL injuries are obviously a big topic, more common in females because of the pelvis and the knees, planting and twisting that puts them at more risk of tearing their ACL.
All right, so that's interesting there. Speaking of ACLs, long time of recovery here. Is that got to be the most frustrating question that parents come to you with? When can you get back out? When can she start playing again?
Right, right. So I deal with that a lot, yes. And it's difficult, and a lot of times I have to play the bad guy to protect the child or daughter. ACLs typically a 4 to 6 month recovery. A lot of that is rehab at the other end. So the healing time doesn't change between me and a professional athlete, but the healing time, getting strength, stability, and the ability not only physically but mentally to plant and twist again takes time.
Dr. Polsky, thank you so much for coming in. We appreciate it. And then for anybody of those winter sports that are coming up here in a few months, they need to be training now.
Absolutely.
There you go. All right, thank you very much.
My
pleasure. Appreciate your time. Coming up, it's the biggest anime